Ever spent your morning trapped in the bathroom, missing out on life thanks to Parkinson's constipation? Well, you're not alone. And today we're going to break the silence on one of the most frustrating symptoms of Parkinson's and stick with me till the very end because I've got a Bryce-ism that puts a little humor on this not so funny reality.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey, I'm Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40, and I've been living with it now for over 15 years. This isn't just a podcast. It's a community. It's real talk about Parkinson's. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and let's get straight into today's episode. So let's start with the obvious question. Why does constipation even happen in Parkinson's? Well, Parkinson's slows everything down. Your walking, your thinking, and yes, your gut. The nerves that move food through your system don't fire the way they used to, and you add in medications and less activity, maybe not enough hydration, and suddenly your bathroom schedule feels completely unpredictable. And here's the thing. This isn't just uncomfortable. It can hijack your day. One person in our community told me that constipation is worse than my tremor. I can shake in public, but being stuck in the bathroom for hours makes me miss my whole morning. Someone else said they actually landed in the ER from the pain only to be told, yep, it's Parkinson's and constipation. And have you ever had a morning where you cancel plans because you're still waiting for things to move? Well, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know what? Say me too in the comments. And if it sounds familiar, hit that like button right now so people can find this and realize that they're not the only ones dealing with it. So what can help? Well, let's break it down into some practical solutions, things that you can actually try. And remember, what works for one person might not work for another, but these are strategies that have helped people in this community, and so they're worth a shot. So here's solution number one, hydration. Drinking more water than you think you need. Most of us think a couple glasses a day is enough, but with Parkinson's, your body often needs more to keep things moving. You know, one community member told me that their cheapest medicine was carrying a water bottle everywhere. And honestly, not a bad habit because dehydration makes constipation worse. You might notice that on days that you forget to drink water, everything slows down even more. Okay. Well, now once you've got hydration down, the next step makes a lot more sense. Here is number two, fiber. But here's the catch. Fiber only works if you pair it with water. Otherwise, it can actually make things worse. Think of fiber like a sponge. Without enough water, that sponge just sits there dry and heavy. And with water, it expands and it moves things along. So add foods like beans, lentils, whole grains, fruits, and veggies. And one of my favorite community tips was oatmeal with flaxseed and blueberries in the morning. Now, not only is it easy, but it hits fiber, hydration, and antioxidants all in one. And that brings us to something just as important as food. So here's solution number three, movement. Constipation isn't just about what you eat, it's about how much you move. Exercise is already one of the best things you can do for Parkinson's, right? And it helps your gut too. Even a short walk around the block can get things going. Someone in my group told me that their routine is a quick 15-minute stretch and a walk after breakfast. And it made a bigger difference than any pill they ever tried. Now, you might notice the days that you're more active, things are easier. And on days you sit still, your gut sits still too. Now, even with hydration, fiber, and movement, there's another piece that can make a big difference. Here's solution number four, routine. Your gut likes habits. Going at the same time every day, even if it doesn't always work, can actually train your body over time. For some people, that means sitting on the toilet after breakfast. And for others, it's giving them 15 quiet minutes before starting the day. You know, one person told me they call it their appointment with the bathroom, and they stick to it the same way they stick to taking meds. And sure, it sounds funny, but creating that habit can help your body cooperate more consistently. And here's another option that you can't ignore. Solution number five, medications and supports. Now let's be real. Sometimes you can do everything right. Drink the water, eat the fiber, take the walk, keep the routine, and you're still stuck. Well, that's when it's time to bring in some reinforcements. And no, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being smart. You know, there are stool softeners that make things gentler. And there are over-the-counter laxatives that you can use occasionally. And for some people, their doctors prescribe something stronger and more regular. Now, the important here is not to be embarrassed. Trust me, your doctor's heard it all before. You won't be the first person to say, like, Doc, I am backed up and I need help. You really won't. One person in our community told me that they avoided talking with the doctor for years because it felt awkward. And when they finally did, their doctor prescribed something simple that gave them back their mornings. They said, like, Bryce, I wish I would have spoken up sooner. I wasted so much time suffering in silence. And that's the lesson here. If tip 1 through 5 aren't enough, don't let pride or embarrassment stop you from asking for support. And while we're at it here, let me give you a bonus round of things that people don't always think about, but can actually help. So here's a bonus section. Number 6, heat and relaxation. Believe it or not, stress and tension can make constipation worse. Your body holds on, literally. And some people find that a warm shower, a heating pad on the stomach, or even a hot cup of coffee in the morning can help relax the system enough to get things moving. One person said that my bathroom weapon is a cup of coffee and 10 quiet minutes. I call it my morning meeting. Sometimes, it's those little rituals that make the biggest difference. And I think that was great. All right, here's another one, bonus number 7, or tip 7, timing meals with your meds. Now, this one's sneaky. High protein foods can interfere with levodopa, we know that. But they can also slow down digestion, so pay attention to when you eat certain foods. If you know a heavy steak dinner tends to back you up, save it for a time of day where it won't collide with both your meds and your digestion. And if, on the flip side, lighter meals like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains earlier in the day can help set you up for a better success. Okay, one more. Number 8, listen to your body's cues. I know it sounds obvious. With Parkinson's, those natural urges don't always shout the way they used to, do they? And if you get a little signal, don't ignore it. Go when you need to go, not when it's convenient, because you might miss that window. And it might not come back until tomorrow. And that's frustrating. You might notice this yourself by the time you actually feel the urge. It's already urgent. Acting early can make a huge difference. Okay, one more piece before we wrap this up. Constipation isn't just about comfort. It's about confidence. I've heard from people who've stopped traveling, stopped going out to eat, and even stopped visiting family because they were too worried about being stuck or uncomfortable. That's heartbreaking. And it's why we're talking about this openly. It matters so much because the moment you share it, you take away some of its power. So let's bring it back around. Okay, we've talked about hydration, fiber, movement, routine, medications, and those bonus tips like heat, timing meals, and listen to your body. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing that has actually helped you manage constipation with Parkinson's? Or what's one frustration that you wish people understood more about it? Drop it in the comments because your story could be the exact one that makes somebody else feel less alone. And as promised, you've made it this far. Here is your Bryce-ism of the day. With Parkinson's, constipation turns your morning routine into a mystery novel. You never know how long the next chapter will take. So if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with somebody who might need to hear it. And if you're looking to go for something a little deeper connection, private support, monthly meetups, a safe place to talk about the things that nobody else does, check out the Inner Circle. The link is in the description below. And until next time, keep showing up, keep being real, and keep doing life today.